sure everybody on the other channels are here. All right. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Soul Sessions. If you're joining me tonight, take a moment to pause and settle in. Breathe in slowly. Yeah, and gently release. This space, yes, this space is a place for reflection, clarity, and gentle guidance. The cards we use here are not meant to predict or control our future. That's very important. Not a fortune teller. They simply act as mirrors, not just mirrors to our souls, but mirrors into every day. That's what they're here for. Sometimes, sometimes we uh, get so busy with the day-to-day life that we don't realize that we have helpers. We don't realize that we have guides, angels, however you want to describe them. And for many of us, we don't know how to hear from them. But the tarot cards, I want you to think of them if you are, a Christian or know about the Christian um, deities. It's just like that. The same way how you would go to the Bible and pull a scripture for the day and reflect on it. Tarot cards can do the same thing. In fact, they have been doing the same things for years, and I mean a long time. So, the cards we use here are not meant to predict or control your future. They simply act as mirrors, reflecting the quiet wisdom that already lives within you. Tonight's session is yes or no clarity. If you have a question on your heart, something you've been thinking about, wondering about, or feeling uncertain about, you are welcome to place a question in the chat. Mm, yes, that's good. We'll ask the cards for a moment of reflection and clarity together. As always, take what resonates for you and release anything that does not. Your own intuition is always your greatest guide. And let's speak a little bit about intuition. Some of us know that we have intuitive guides, and some of us have not reached the point that we recognize them. And the group of us that read tarot or crystals or runes or or other type of readings, pendulums, we've practiced a great deal on exercising our intuitive nature, learning how to trust it, learning how to follow it, learning, even with trees and whether you are reading the trees or feeling the energy from trees, feeling the energy from water. I feel big energy from water. That's why I like going to the ocean, um, so to speak. I like spending time near water. I hear guidance. I hear intuitive reflections while I'm near water. And so, you know, we all have our different ways of picking up on our intuitive senses. And some of us really practice consciously on recognizing and feeling and sensing. And some of us be like, oh, we think it's a coincidence. And really, it really wasn't. There were always things leading up into those. So settle in, relax, and let's begin. All right. So I'm going to activate my cards and my guides. And I see and draw to me through divine love those radiant beings of light who walk beside me. Together, we expand truth, clarity, and joy. Through the sharing, We rise, I ex galaxy walker, they as constant companions. Our flow is infinite, our guidance is certain. We elevate each other now. So, tonight I'll be pulling one card for clarity. If the message needs deeper understanding, I may pull a clarifier card to explain the guidance. And this helps us see whether the energy around your question is leaning towards yes or no or not yet. All right, so at this time, I invite questions. Okay, if you have a question, feel free to drop it in the chat and we'll explore it together. If you are joining me via Hipsy and you would like to donate, you could definitely click on the link, the Hipsy link, and submit your question there, and I'll see it pop up. So while we're waiting on other questions, okay, this is for anyone that's wondering, am I moving in the right direction right now? Why is that an important question? And a lot of people are wondering that because this is March, the year has begun. Um, some make New Year's resolutions, some have plans, and they seem to be moving a little bit slow. And everything that's happening in the world right now, of course, it would seem like it's moving slow. We are unsure about what we hear on the news and what that means for us long term. So let's see what's in store. Hmm. Okay. For for some of us, I see definitely a lot of people really don't like this card. It is the Five of Pentacles. And yes, I spoke about world and listen, you guys are worrying. This is exactly what this is. You're worrying. And I want you to settle in and I don't want to say stop worrying, but really focus to where your concerns really are. Because if you are worried about everybody else and not giving yourself the attention that you need to give yourself, you have projects that are due, you have phone calls that need to be made, um, you have businesses that need to be ran. And taking your eyes off of your prize is going to cause more stress than necessary. Things will turn out the way that they're supposed to turn out, um, worldwide, nationwide. And I'm not negating those things. What I'm saying to you is most definitely there is help available for you and to you. And it's up to you as soon as you pull your attention away from the great distractors, the help that is ready to come and assist you, you will be able to notice. Okay, I got a question here from Maggie. Okay, Maggie wants to know what fate has in store for her. Okay, let's see. What does fate have in store for you? Uh, to receive, we got the Empress card. Okay, so you can see that. Maybe hope that's better. All right, to receive. Um, this is a strong card, and it is definitely for you. I get the sense of your energy. Your energy is not conceited or stuck up. You just have a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. And it is time for you and anybody else that this might resonate with. It's time for you to start giving some of that away. I like to give the metaphor of like an apple tree. So think of yourself as an apple tree with a great personality. So the apple tree bears a lot of apples, and yet you have a lot of people that are hungry that will look to go to the stores, they'll look online, they will look every place else but this abundant apple tree to nourish them. And then one day another person comes along and says, "Hey, are you hungry?" And they go, yeah. And they say, "Didn't you notice that there was an apple tree like right up under you that you're constantly sitting up under and you're not picking the ripe apple off of the branch? You're watching the apples fall down to the ground and rot, and you could be having fresh apples. You have a plethora of them. And so you are the apple tree that has many fruits that can be picked. And the person that recognizes you will want to feed off of you continuously. But you have that stature. Apple tree has a great big trunk like an oak tree. So you have the stamina, you have the strength to let people feed from you and not feel abused. Now, those apples, which I'm going to call them your thoughts, uh, your knowledge, your whole infrastructure about you that you are giving to the world, the ones that are falling down to the ground, don't think of them as rotting. Think of them as planting seeds, because with the apples that don't get picked that fall to the ground, well, we think on the surface, on top of the earth layer, that that the apple is rotting, when actually the seeds are, with every rain period that comes in, the seeds get plummeted into the soil to do what? Produce another tree. And one apple tree has, they produce hundreds of apples in their harvest time. So it's not a bad thing. Go out there, do what you need to be doing, do what you're passionate about doing, and have no fear about it. You know, right now, the one that's speaking to you about them, I could almost be speaking to myself. Took me a while to have the courage to come on and do these lives, um, or even really to do tarot. Um, it took some courage, a lot of things that I thought that I had to study. So I thought that I had to study them. Did I do it? Yes, I did. Yes, I got the knowledge. Yes, I did the practice. Yes, I did all of the homework, the background work, the studying, the test, try, and proven, before I can bring it to you. Not everything you need that. And what I found out when I did all this studying and when I did all this reflection, I realized that everything was already within me. I didn't need someone else to give me the validation that I thought. That is a whole nother discussion and a topic. And perhaps, I think, in fact, I'm going to write it down. I think I need to do a video on that. And I'm going to call that video my breakthrough. So, Maggie, what does fate have in store for you? Abundance, prosperity, and a great future helping people, which is what you are passionate about doing. All right. So if you are on YouTube, feel free to drop a question if you have one. We're doing yes or no um, questions, even though that really wasn't a yes or no question, but I answered it, and why not? I'm here. You have a question. I want to focus on yes or no, but if not, and then I will answer the question that you post. So, got another question coming in. Let me. Ah, all right. Ransom one. Will you two get back together? Let's see. Got a hangman. Eight of swords. Um, there's a lot going on there. So the answer is no. And to be quite honest, might be in your best interest. Sometimes we gotta, I don't, the kids like to say we gotta take an L. I wouldn't call it as an L. I would just say this is a lesson learned and there's something for you to learn from it. And it's time for you to sit down and think about what it is that happened that you need to learn from. And sometimes when people walk the other way, especially if they were the ones to break it off, um, you know, don't want what you are a person, you are a human, you are a person with feelings. Don't sit there and beg for someone that did not want to be with you. There's reasons for the breakups, and sometimes we don't see them when we're all in our feelings. So take a moment. Take a moment. And when I say a moment, I don't mean five, I don't mean 10 minutes. I mean a couple of days, a week, maybe even a month. Do some self reflection, but not the type of self reflection where you're beating yourself in the ground. Just ask yourself, and your guides will hear you and they will give you subtle answers. What is it that I needed to learn? Not what you did wrong. What did I need to learn from this situation? All right. The best of luck to you. Let's see. All right. Soothsayer has a question. Okay. That's good enough. Am I going to get a promotion um, at my job? Let's see what we get. Hmm. I stop shuffling when I get the sense from spirit to stop shuffling. It seems like there's something that the cards want to say. All right, here we go. Yeah, got a page of wands. Will you get a promotion? The promotion is coming and it's coming swift. However, and this is something that you've been thinking about, but it's going to come and it's going to come swiftly. What I want you to do is brush up on your skills. Don't go into this thinking that you know everything. Um, with this promotion is going to come great responsibility, and that great responsibility is going to come with some things that you um, not necessarily may need to go to school for, but it's a good idea while you're waiting on them to offer this promotion to you. It's a good idea to look into it just a little deeper to find out and to get a sense of the new responsibilities, because these new responsibilities may come with a new skill. Okay. All right. Going to take time for one more question. All right, Chris, I see one. Ah, hi. Okay, let me do Chris. I know you don't see him on the YouTube screen right now, but hold on. I see you, Scooby Dooby. All right, thank you. Let's see. All right, Chris, I'm not going to answer yours because I maybe I should make that clear. I don't do stock predictions and I don't do health. Okay, and I do not give legal advice. All right. So, Chris, if you want to rephrase your question, that's fine. But right now, I'm going to move on to Scooby Dooby 755. Okay. Hi, does Allie want to stay in her current relationship? Interesting. No, Allie does not want to stay in her current relationship. That current relationship seems like it's what's the good word that I need to use? The Hierophant card came up, which kind of says that like there's some things that need to be done by the book, um, and right now I don't get the feeling that it's her, but there's some traditional ways about the person that she's involved in a relationship with. There's some traditional things that's going on that maybe she is not in agreement with. Okay, so the answer is no with a maybe. Does she want to reconcile with Emma? Let's see. If you are, well, you asked the second question, so that tells me that we pretty much hit the nail on the head, didn't we? It's interesting. Um, this is not that question is really not a yes or no answer, and because there's a little bit behind it, there's a lot of emotional pain there, so it's very conflicting. It seems that Allie is really contemplating, but she knows that she really needs to walk away. Okay, so consideration is there, but deep down she knows really what she has to do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Consideration's there. There's a lot of emotional stuff going on. So once she gets that clarity, she'll realize the best thing for her to do. All right, Chris, are you ready? You're welcome. All right, Chris. Okay, you came back with a real simple question. So I hope you disguise it as best you can. Chris wants to know, is it a good time for him to travel overseas? Um, gonna let the cards answer that. It'd be nice if you tell me where overseas is, but it's okay if you don't. Um, and yes, yes, it is. Seems like you have gifts waiting for you overseas, wherever it is that you're going. So, yes, would be a good time for you to go. Just do it safely, abide by all the rules, make sure you have all your ID. I don't want you going over there getting stuck and can't get back. All right, great. So, and no, I do not stay on my soul sessions long unless we really go into it. But tonight, on Mondays, I just open it up with a yes or no. And I do this every second week of the month. I come on live at 7, and each day is a different topic. So, I'm sorry, let me read this question really quick. So yeah, so sorry for that noise. Um, so Monday is yes and no clarity. Tuesday is a one question tarot. Wednesday we talk about love and relationships, and that love and relationships. Sometimes I do not do tarot most of the time. But you could come with your questions and I answer them intuitively. And with the love and relationship questions, sometimes I do tarot. Most of the time, I do oracle cards with that. Um, let's see, Thursday is 3 card guidance, and that is done through tarot reading. And Friday is also higher self messages, and that is oracle. Most of the time, my sessions do run 30 minutes, but the longest that I like to stay on is an hour. And I do leave the replay sessions up there in case you cannot get back to it, or if this time does not work. But I do. I really enjoy it. I know I'm not your typical, rah rah tarot reader. That's not me. I always come in calm. That's just not in my nature. But I do want to be here for you, and I do want to help uplift and encourage wherever I can. So let's get ready to close out. If there are any more questions, if you want to, I'll do one more question. If anybody has it, drop it in YouTube. Is my preferred in the chat. Um, all right, great. So thank you for spending this time together tonight. Um, really meant a lot. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, the purpose of these sessions is not to hand over your power. It is to help illuminate the wisdom already within you. Trust in your inner voice. Most definitely, we all have it. I am nobody super special. We all have an inner voice. We all have guidance. We all have intuition, and it's just a matter of learning and recognizing that you do have it, and to take time during the day to meditate or focus a little bit on it, and just really start to hear and notice the nudges and the that you get when you ask certain questions within. Okay. Let's see. Anything else that I need to say? Let's see. Um, no. So again, I do this every second week of the month, and I call this second week soul sessions, and we have a topics. You can find all my topics in the description. If you want private readings, you can find me on Hipsy. Okay, the link is in the description, and you can also find me on Ask the Answer. You can book some private time with me there, and that link is also in the description. If you are a woman, wife, mother, single income, uh, trying to get your house in order, I do have a Facebook group called Good Thing Wifey. Please look that up, become a member. I would love to have you. And on my website, www.TenMustardSeeds.com, I do have some free bundle gifts for you, and I have some courses coming up. Yay! So always plug into my website, always check out, see what's going on. Until then, I will see you tomorrow. Um, so let me just check my notes. Any last follow ups I got for you? All right, no, it's all right. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you, and see you tomorrow. Don't forget, tell a friend. Always appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell so that you know whenever I'm on. All right. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye bye.